we're doing a kind of a part 2 of Factorio Megabase for this evening's stream. I was having reports that people were like 3 to 5 minutes between the time they say something in chat and it was showing up. So hopefully that's improved. Do let me know if you guys are having a better connection. If not, if it's not any better, I'll have to reboot. Okay, saying like 10 seconds down, which is typical delay. So it could be long streams are just sort of get laggier. I don't know any way to say that other than, you know, recording a long video or something, because it is recorded. So where am I? Oh, well, you were asking me, Zombie, you know, what I'd do differently. I don't know if you caught all that. But it's basically keep it simple. Try to do a lot less spaghetti building. You know, early on, you know, you're doing a belt build, but literally I could probably tear up a whole bunch of this stuff here. I don't know if it'd save on UPS. It probably would. I mean, everything that's turned on uses stuff. I train everything in. You're right, it is less efficient, but it also leads to more spaghetti. The question is, in regards to isn't that less efficient resource-wise, I was referring to cracking everything down at each outpost rather than ship out, you know, more than one product. It's actually, I would say it's less efficient to ship out more than one product. Technically, you know, for instance, rocket fuel is making everything into solid fuel before it makes it into rocket fuel. And petroleum gas for rocket fuel is horribly inefficient. Horribly inefficient. You get one rocket solid fuel for every 20 petroleum gas. It's a horrible waste of petroleum gas. But to keep this simple, simply I bring in crude and I ship out rocket fuel. I do not care that my petroleum gas is being wasted. I calculated it out. In fact, the advanced refining, even though it makes more petroleum than the other one, you actually make more solid fuel even with the ratio. So, yes, all my petroleum gas is being turned into solid fuel. It's just going to be the way it is. I'm just going to pretend that's, you know, the goal is here. I bring in crude and I ship out salt and I ship out rocket fuel. That's it. That's all I care about. I want rocket fuel, and so that's what I do. You know. Station 3. How's this doing here? Aren't these trains picking up from rocket fuel 3? Are my... Yes. My signals are on the wrong side. Okay, well that was a kind of a new build last night, I guess. They can't pick up from my new rocket fuel. I think it's more efficient to ignore, if I need lubricant, well, I'll make a lubricant build. If I need, heavy oil, say for flame turrets, though I never use flame turrets, but if you do and you want that, well, then create a build that, obviously do, flame turrets or fuel for flame turrets. It depends on the build. Like in this case, in my rocket fuel build, I found that I had to put some speed modules in my petroleum to keep my petroleum low. Now, I could probably swap some of these for productivity modules, but I couldn't do all of them productivity modules, otherwise it was backing up on the petroleum. And it's really the light oil that is the most efficient use of for solid fuel. So I just want the petroleum gas to go away, basically. And so it does. It just depends on, I could probably put a whole lot more chem plants to do petroleum, and then I could do, less speed modules, but I'm with you. Basically space is infinite, and you can just continue to use productivity modules. It's kind of what I was talking about when I went to do the sulfuric acid build. I'm literally doing 1-to-1 sulfur into sulfuric acid in my original design, and if I need more, I would just slap down more. I don't know the answer to what about UPS wise. Technically, I would say the more stuff you build requires more UPS. It's just going to be the nature of things. I'm still using my soul armor. Let's swap. I don't know why it was in, but let's swap. So my signals to this, I thought I had fixed, because when I slapped this down, I knew my signals were backwards. Apparently, I didn't fix this guy. I fixed this guy. I remember doing that, but I didn't fix this. So Station 3 has been building up supplies, but it's had nobody able to come pick it up. Apparently 23, 24K is the max. Yes, it is. I'm a quarter mile probably from train crossing. So at least twice a stream you'll hear a train pass. It's good to see you, Zombie. You were gone for finals, right? Are the finals all done with? somebody else I was thinking of then. Oh, baby. So you're talking about putting modules, productivity modules, in all assembly buildings. Do not put them in miners or pump jacks. Do not put them there. Even though they can have them, put either efficiency modules or speed modules, but do not put productivity modules. Start doing something with space science. Can't believe this train is still loading. Good to see low intensity structures at 19K. What are we waiting on here? Rocket fuel. Got one on the way. I'm going to stick another one down. So how many stack? Man, they do stack to 2,000. So you can get 80,000 per train. So, I mean per cargo wagon, which is 320,000 per train. All right. There it is. Oh, you can do it this way. I didn't realize you could. Let's do it that way. I mean, as is, that would be like 80,000 per train. Rocket control units also stacked to 10, right? I wonder if I should make 2 of those trains. I don't have the supplies to do another train right now, but I think we're kind of ready to do another space science outpost. I mean, it's not space science, science build. So basically I take this and it's kind of a good idea. I'm just having is what if I do like a satellite build, wherever that is, where you have 6 trains coming in, all science. And then on the wings, you do, you know, what I was just showing with my labs. Maybe like 3 rows of labs. Three rows of labs. And 6 trains. Maybe 2 rows of labs. I'm not sure. Could start with 2, plan on maybe being able to do 6. We are counting how much is in, guess these storage, huh? So if I were to do something like that, so of course we're going to require 6 more trains. 1 for each science pack. Well, except for the space science one, because we have that one currently. We could do a build just like this guy. And that would be like super efficient. I like it. It's duplicatable. It's, again, I was thinking of doing something like my yellow science. This is going to need an upgrade. I don't think this is going to be, I mean, I could, this was designed so I could, you know, slap down more rows of it this vertically. And we're probably going to need to do that. At some point I'm going to have to go to a system like all my other science builds. Where? Alright, so I have green science, red science here, green science over there. But most of my other sciences are over here. Purple, blue, yellow. I'm not doing gray. I stopped doing military science pretty much a while ago. Especially once I disabled pollution and I really stopped needing to keep up with Biter's evolution. So we literally could do, one right here. Prefer to kind of make it its own thing elsewhere. Where, you know, kind of in here maybe. I was thinking it was going to be kind of a sprawling mess like this thing with these. But if we do it like we did the satellites, and we literally could copy this whole thing. But what I'd probably copy is just the tracks. And the middle one could just be ignored or be roboports or something. So for now, disable the beacons. Be something like so. And I notice a little slight gap in the tracks, so I'll do that again. No beacons. We'll do that part later. Where am I? Anyways, I am at Space Sites. We're gonna have to go get some supplies. I got in the back train apparently. So I'm used to pulling forward out of a spot. This could be a little exciting. It's probably going to break things. So forewarning, it's going to break things. Just activating that much more science packs, we're going to run out of stuff. What exactly first? Hard to guess. Steel. Steels and or iron. I don't expect it to be circuits other than maybe a shortfall of iron or copper. I think circuits are doing okay. In the south we have 400,000 average. So 1.6 million green there. And in the north, almost 300,000 average. So times 6, another 1.8 million. So don't expect that to break, but as you can see, these are input trains aren't completely backed up. Red circuits is at 300,000 average, so another 1.2 million red circuits, and blue circuits is at 400,000, so about 800,000 blue circuits on hand. Let's look at power, since we were having a little power problems at the during last episode, or part 1 of this episode, whichever way you want to look at it. Because during that episode we went around disabling some of the nuclear power. It's trying to get all the way over onto solar, but it wasn't quite enough solar to do that. So we're not quite there yet. But I disabled all my early solar power, nuclear power. So these currently aren't producing power. Alright, well, to do this build, we're obviously going to need a whole ton of track. Provider chests. Don't need the requester chests, not with at least this part of it. I want the track section of it. So it's really provider chests. Power poles. Roboports. I don't know if we want 2,000 mods, but that's how much we do at the science build, or space science build. That's going to be enough. I'm going to do another stack of power poles. It's probably plenty. Oh, we're going to need a ton of inserters. Be precise. That's 250. 300. Regular inserters. Not quite sure for fuel. Guess we have enough stations. Everything else looks good. I'll get some. This was supposed to be fixed, but if you do back, you got to do back and left to go right. Oh, all right, well, now let's, okay, we got that. Then we need another blueprint for, come on, this. We basically want 3 rows. And our current science is 1.8. Divide that by 5 for 5 rows to kind of get an idea. So 1,800 science packs per minute divided by 5. It's going to be like 300 and something. 360. So per row. So if I did 2, I mean that's going to be 720 plus, I mean doubled, right? So it's going to be another basically 1,400. So I mean, sure, that's going to break some stuff. We will just do 2. So set that there. I'm going to add another buffer chest for this. How many? Basically 100 labs. Labs and stack of requesters. No, 2 stacks of requesters. Oh, and we're going to have to need 6 trains. So we might need 6 trains. Divide by 4. And well, 6 times 4 is 24. Right? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. And we're seeing a stack of requester chests. Actually, 2 stacks for me. So basically, this all has to be doubled. Beacons. Two more stacks of inserters. So we need. It seems like we got enough requesters. Chests. Another stack of roboports, it looks like. 2. Until we do this the first time. Kind of guessing at things. So it's like 250 speed and 150 productivity. So we're going to need another train car. Did we fill up beacons? No. $250 and $150. So we got the productivity models, just need speed. How are we on beacons? 40, and we need 140 minus like 20, so 120. We have our 120 beacons. No, I think we need 140. 140 because of 70. Well, okay, we have too many now. 100 inserters plus the 250 there, so 350 total inserters. And we have 400, so that should be good. Power stations, we have those in our train cars if we need them. 12 roboports plus our 28 is 40. And we have 40 on board, plus the ones we carry. Alright. I think this is interesting. We're going to put that. I was for sure thinking here. I mean, this is yellow science, purple science, blue science. Would it make better sense here? I mean, I'm not ripping up this build. But yes, I think it would be better here, or maybe even here. But for future expansion, honestly, somewhere this area, I think. So we'll head to S12E. is my train deciding to go this way? Well, then it's going to want to go. We're going to go to this S22W then. S2. We don't need anything special like water. Like those power poles aren't connected. Fix it. There's no specific place we have to do this. You're going to want to bring it in and then throw out a stacker, which is roughly 2 poles wide. So right about here is good. Oops. Yeah, just get on the train. I like to pad it a little bit before we hit the stacker. Honestly, it's a little better if you can have like a full train length. Let's go the right way. Pop that pole. Yep, okay. That's probably overkill. It fits perfectly with these poles. Yeah, this is going to need to move a little bit. This probably there. Assuming this was no different, not by much. Right? track. We had something like, you know, if I do, it's a little smarter maybe. The output track being a separate line from the input. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Those grenades in my pocket. Really speaking, I don't need any of that. And this, oops, we need some track. And technically speaking, there's no track there yet. Maybe someday we'll expand that out to the south. Okay, just finish setting that up. Do we want all that yet? Definitely don't want like requester or provider chests. Probably inserters. That's definitely the robo ports. The center track is needed. Where are the requester chests for them? I'm not quite sure what these power poles are for. They're probably for these. Pluck them for now, though. Seeing what those ones. There we go. I think that's roughly it. A few more things to do, but let's place down the first one of these. It looks like Sweet spot for that. Hey, Knifes Wolfwood. Thanks for the host. Really appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Working on what's sort of been a long stretch towards increasing science. I'm kind of near. Did I not grab those labs? I put them towards the buffer chest, but I didn't grab them. Yeah. Appreciate it. Alright, so it's going to be the same thing down here. This will increase science by 1400 per minute. That's assuming we can supply it. Out the hand crank to do some manual bot powering. Alright, so not sure whether I'm going to want another row of robo ports across the top. May or may not be required, but I did forget, as I knew I might do, always chance at forgetting something. That's kind of a cool build. It's not perfect, of course. If we, technically, I guess we don't need to get train fuel for any of these guys, except I don't have enough train fuel on me to launch 6 trains. So we probably should get our train fuel station. Could kind of do like I did with, where's the rocket fuel? No. Space science? Yeah. That's going to be not quite enough room. We have the robo ports to connect to it. Yeah. Okay, so it's enabled everything. We just need to name them. And let's name this, I guess, Science Station 1. station. I know there's not going to be enough room for this whole thing. Well, we can pull out the robots. Switch armor. I don't know, 2,000 bots are probably way overkill, but let's see here. Do we have enough? Okay, let's go. I want to drop off all those trains. I suppose I can. Right, let's. Don't tell me that's no pathing. It kind of is, isn't it? Yes, it is. And it's because I did a separate exit row. So we need to move this tab in more. This. A little tightness there, but all right. Let's label this Space Science 1. Or not Space Science, just Science Lot 1. Oh, well, I guess I could have started some trains. Let's start labeling these. Science packs are equal no matter what type they are. So we can just literally just go up the, we'll call it S1. I'm pretty sure we don't have anything. Or we could just, no, how about we just do science? Science 1, red science. Right. Green science. Science 1. Blue science. Science. Oops. 1. Purple science. Packs. Science, and lastly Science 1, Space Science. Now And start the space science train over there. Probably don't really want it to empty itself, but for now it's the only train for that outpost. Or there's only one science outpost like that. So we needed 100 labs. And I can't carry that many. Probably need some more exit signals in here. I'll ghost them in. You know, this is set to load at full cargo, but if you, which I did, is I set them, you know, I don't know even know a way to describe it, card, you know, just like you do a chess and you X off certain parts of it. Well, consider it full once it reaches what you set it, or do you have to do an by item count? Something I'm going to have to check out. Somewhere here we can do these. Guess I need all the labs. Did I still not grab enough labs? I don't have enough labs. I don't know why it stopped putting them in. Oh, that's because, that's right, I had 70 on the train and 30 on my person. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to break yellow science. I'm near certain of that. So we shall start there. All right. Search for YS. YS load, inventory full. And science 1, inventory empty. Search for purple science. PS load, inventory full. Science 1, PS, inventory empty. One of the things I want to do here. Well, I should just do it that way. I don't know if I've 2,000 per stack is just this huge number. So, anyways, did I finish building him? Yes. Alright, blue science. Load, inventory full. And then blue science unload. No, science blue. Inventory empty. Science load. And one last one, and we are new territory. Apparently you have no power though. I was really hoping those would cover that. I've done a little power pole there. So the same up here. And apparently I set those close enough. I don't know. Let's see, what was I doing? Red science. Red science, load, inventory full. Science 1, red science, inventory empty. Alright, so double check all these trains. Yeah. As I suspected, it would be the one to break first. Some signals to put in. How's space science doing? Did set these to 3K each. 1K. $3K is actually kind of overkill now because of the way I set the limits on the train cars, but rocket control units is backed up. Well, we haven't done a build on him in a while, but he's at 22K, which is, gosh, I don't know, like 15 train loads. Like here comes some. Maybe we just need another train of it, but it's really the, once again, low density structures. Kind of taking the most demand, I guess, would be the way to say that. But rocket control units maybe could use another train. I And then we have 2 low density structures. And we have 2 rocket fuel. I don't know, they all stacked at 10, so right now that's probably not our bottleneck. I'm guessing blue or yellow science is. Here comes some red science. Now 1 train each of these is enough, has been enough for the main base. So probably don't need 2 trains of each of these, because we have less labs than we are in the main base, doing 1.8K a minute in the main base, and this would be additional 1.4. So I mean, if we could sustain this, we'd be at over 3K science pack a minute. I think it's going to break things long before we get to keeping that steady. But, I mean, at long last, we have the new science build. I think we could have done another row on each side, but I think that as is, this is going to break stuff. We don't need to get that ambitious yet. And here we go. We are about to go from, well, it's showing less, probably because our science on the main base is, or space science is less, but it's going to crank up here. We're already up at 2K. 2.1, 2.2, 2.5, 2.8, 2.9. It's fluctuating around 2.8, 2.9. 3K. It's 1,000K more than 3.1, 3.2 for a split second. You can actually see this bar moving again. Barely. 3K a minute. That's big. On hand, we have 28,000 of each pack. Plus, space science is more because it stacks to 2,000 each. And I limited each chest to just 1 space. Because for future builds, I don't want, you know, these chests just maxing out at 2,000, you know, times 48 per chest. It's just ridiculous. You'd never be able to load into the second train. So far it's a success. I mean, long term, this is definitely going to break stuff. Space science in our main base. I'm not really quite sure why we're limited on space science. Oh, low density structures. That's why. Our low density structure unload is empty. Which, I mean, we added a whole nother build yesterday. Kind of all runs together, but it really comes down to steel. So even though we're cranking here, you know, on the new science, this is all going to break because of steel. Literally, we got to come up with a better steel plan. This is just not keeping up. Look at all these steel trains waiting for supply. I mean, we have iron trains in every bay. I mean, this one just unloaded, but another one will be on its way in a second. So as fast and efficient as this can be, steel is going to be our bottleneck for some time. I'm just wondering if these iron builds could support another steel mill, or as I was thinking I might do, is kind of split this, like you would do a row of this being iron ore input and then steel. That way you just kind of skip the bringing in iron plate. I don't know if I have the room in this current location to do another full build. I mean, kind of pinch my, hold my fingers up against the screen. There's enough room, but then stackers or something, would probably have to be here to feed in this way or something, which isn't ideal, I don't think. Or maybe down here and I just cannibalize this. This has been a build that I built ages ago. It's still got red belts, and just give up on it. I mean, there's plenty of coal elsewhere, and this isn't needed. It's a thought. Probably gonna need, or maybe I just do it further east, because we've pretty much mined out all this material in this area. Just kind of looking, maybe we do a southern steel build. Not sure yet. We got a ton of iron over in this area to tap yet. Well, we gotta conquer it first. We still got iron in this area to use up. Apparently I didn't put a storage chest in this area. This build. That's why that's blinking. Nice. I kind of forget to do that. Well, any ideas, any suggestions, any questions? I am all ears. I don't really have all the answers. This is certainly my biggest base I've ever built. Kind of the benefits of building that new system here is I could use the same stackers, or at least for, the steel trains, so they could flow into a new build. Let's work towards making 4 iron to steel, iron ore to steel builds, because you can do that, and it is 1-for-1. Because to smelt iron ore, actually we were in the right place, it's 3.5 seconds. And to smelt steel plate is 17.5. So that's 5 times 3.5 is 17.5. Now, what I don't necessarily know is if the ratio, when you have the modules in them, I don't know, I'd have to kind of see that as I brought that in, like, would I not need as many iron ore to iron plate as steel? Because these would, literally you're finishing them 5 times faster. So potentially maybe getting more free product, 5 times more free product. I think so. Not positive, but I think so. The crafting speed would be the same, but you'd be getting 5 times more free product. So you might need, maybe 20% less, which means you could build more of these into steel. It would be something to look into. So, where's my guy? Okay, let's head back to my main section. How's this doing here? Nothing's broken yet. But yellow and green science are the least packs. Green science I am not worried about in the least. Yellow science is incoming. Green science is this funky build here. Inserter, outpost, belt, outpost, and then their exits just literally go here. No signals required. Nothing. Just back and forth. And we have 600,000 green science bottles on hand. So that's not an issue. Where's my train? I don't get what my train just did. Unless these... are not talking right or something. Should be fine. I use that blueprint all the time. Guessing my train went this way and then back this way. And it just kind of did something like that here. Don't know. Sometimes the pathfinding mechanism is a little quirky. Kind of interested to see how space science is doing. These are cranking away best they're able to. $60K space science sitting there. Makes me wish maybe I should train up that. Production, we're still consuming about 3K space science packs a minute. It's pretty amazing. Alright. I didn't take that blueprint. Oh, an extra one. It was for the space science track. Not space science, science. I don't know why I keep calling it that. Roughly like that. Oh man, I'm noticing the time. I'm sorry. It's 2 a.m. for me. To do another big build like this would require at least a couple hours, and I like to do some things, including have dinner. So I don't want to be going to bed at 6 a.m. I really appreciate everybody watching and following, and if you would like to see more, do follow. I'm on pretty much in the evenings, every night. And of course, occasionally not, but most of the time I am. So do follow, subscribe on YouTube, and I will be back again tomorrow to do this build. I really appreciate it again, and we will catch you later. Also, if you have any questions, leave them on the YouTube. I will answer them there. Otherwise, catch me on the stream again sometime. Laters.